And thank you. This is Daniel Vail with WCW, the year of 1996. I'm going to do just like I did with the WWF, and I'm going to start off from the beginning of the year. Going to take sound off. So, in the beginning of 1996 for the WCW, WCW got flagged for using Hogan, using Savage, using Luger, because they all were part of WWF, that people overlooked how they were also using people like Chris Benoit, people like Eddie Guerrero, Johnny B. Bad, Diamond Dallas Page. As a matter of fact, beginning of NITRO was big time for trying to remember how to say this. Beginning of NITRO or WCW was really big because of I'm having difficulty speaking. It was really big for the TV title because of Page and Johnny B. Bad. At the end of 95, Johnny B. Bad not only beat Page in 2 pay-per-view matches back-to-back for the TV title, first winning it and then keeping it, but also winning Kimberly as his manager. And they started the storyline where, and Diamond Dallas Page shared this on his website, these videos. He shared all the promos they cut against each other to build to their next important match at Super Brawl, which was actually in February. And he had explained that all of their matches were done all their promos were done on Saturday night because the higher-ups did not believe that they were ready for Monday Nitro to cut promos on. So they just used Monday Nitro to have matches on instead. This episode in the beginning of 96, January 1st, as a matter of fact, Happy New Year, in 96, was in the home office of WCW, which was big for wrestling itself because of the Omni, and now it's known as the actually, I believe it's called the Georgia Dome, which I believe started calling it that around, say, 97, 98, when Goldberg became heavyweight champion for the first time. So, it's really a big deal. At the end of Starrcade, Ric Flair became the 12th time heavyweight champion of the world. Said it was unprecedented at the time, and that he would put the title on the line against Hulk Hogan. Steve McMichael was the babyface commentator. So he said he was looking forward to Hogan ending Ric Flair's reign. And Bobby Heenan was asked what he thought, and he said, "I doubt if lightning can strike twice in the same place." Talking about Hulk Hogan beating Ric Flair twice within a year. He said, "But I'll tell you this, match Randy Macho Man Savage has asked for against Arn Anderson in the match that'll kick off the evening tonight. He's got it in his heart. He was jabbed. He was beaten. He thinks Arn Anderson is the reason Flair has the title. This is going to be a war." And Eric Bischoff said, "It is going to be a war, and that's the way we're going to kick things off here on Nitro." Arn Anderson, as Brian Pillman was distracting the referee, Randy Anderson, he took out the brass knucks, not the ones that look like can really do damage, but the ones that I call them paper, because there's no holes to them like the real ones. So he took, because he didn't do it secretly, he didn't do it gradually like he did at Starrcade. So Randy Savage took it from him, hit him in the forehead with it, put it back in Arn Anderson's tights, got the 3 count. Then Chris Benoit came out, Brian Pillman. Chris Benoit was dressed to compete, and that was the next match. First, they were fussing at the referee, and the referee was like, "I didn't see anything. What am I supposed to do?" Okay. Then Lord Steven Regal goes against Benoit. I think Benoit went for a suicide dive, and Regal moved out the way, so all Regal had to do was throw him back in, and I think he got the pinfall victory. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Even pulled the tights to secure the 3 count. Pillman was going through, I guess you could call it a metamorphosis, where he was more destructive in his attitude than usual. And this became known as the loose cannon character later on. He was upset at how not once but twice the Horsemen lost. And not only that, but the first loss, Arn Anderson got beaten by something that came from their book, and he used the term playbook. The reason I think that's great is because he used to play not just football, but he played professional football for a short time, then Canadian football before he got into wrestling. I think it's interesting. Bryan said, "Just 5 days after the symbol of excellence sees the rage of power, the world title, we're 0-2. Chris, you were handpicked. You are one of the chosen ones. You are here to win and dominate, not languish in mediocrity." And Chris said, "Bryan, the only way anybody can beat me is by sheer luck. That is the only thing. See, Regal had it going for himself tonight. My record as a Horseman more than proves myself. I've been pulling my weight, Bryan. Come on, Chris. You are holding your own. The stretch limo pulls up. Don't blink, and we are surrounded." Oh, I'm not even going to repeat that. But that's only one half of our job description. And AA, getting beat by a move out of the Horseman playbook? What is this here, Arn? What about the hit list? Hogan, Savage, and the Dungeon of Doom. Or Misfit something. And Gene asked Arn Anderson, what do you have to say? We're running short on time. We want to get to your comments. Number one, Pillman, I'm not used to looking to the back of people's heads. But it goes like this. You understand you've been running around starting fires and starting wars that we don't need to fight. Our job is to protect the world title. Unless there's a pot of gold at the end of that rainbow, quit starting the fires. Paul Orndorff went too far and should have never went that far. Now you want to jump on Sullivan and the Dungeon of Doom? What is there to achieve? There's nothing to achieve. We perish, we prosper together as a unit. You understand what I'm saying? By the time he finished that statement, they were out of time. And they show Jimmy Hart trying to stop Kevin Sullivan with Zodiac right behind him, right behind Kevin Sullivan on the ramp. And Gene was reminding everybody of Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair later on in the night. Fortunately, the Giant came out to pull back Kevin Sullivan. Okay, so the next match is the Super Assassins versus Lex Luger and Sting. So the Super Assassins had Colonel Parker as manager. Colonel Parker was out there with them. Let's see. The assassin in the ring. Luger put him in the torture rack. Sting put the illegal Super Assassin in the Scorpion Deathlock. And the illegal Super Assassin submitted. They win the match. Last time I saw an outfit like that, Jimmy Hart, Guy Lombardo was the sideman with the Spike Jones band. And that was, of course, Mean Gene Okerlund talking to Jimmy Hart. You know, Mean Gene, are you really that short, or are you standing in a hole? Stop it. Let me tell you something. When I was flying around the world with the immortal Hulk Hogan, at least I realized one important thing. He said, Jimmy Hart, always keep your enemies close to you so you can always keep an eye on them. Shame on you, Hulk. Should have kept an eye on Jimmy Hart. And also, he said, always be able to switch gears anytime, any place, anywhere. And that's what Jimmy Hart's doing here in WCW. Switching gears. One night you might see me with Ric Flair. One night you might see me with Sullivan in the Dungeon of Doom. Like tonight, I'm with a 7'4" giant. Because I'm always going to be around winners. Baby. Giant, I guess Hulk Hogan has taken for Bobby Knight in the chair department, as you know. Hogan, time after time, you remind me of emotionally, spiritually, and then when I had Randy Savage beat, you came in and with a chair and hit me.